Welcome friends to Power Plant Guru YouTube channel. Friends, I am a mechanical engineer with around 20 years of experience in the field of power plant, and I used to create small fundamental knowledge series videos for power plant engineers. Hi, let us understand one important topic here in this video. Why in power plants you have seen condensate extraction pump which is placed at somewhat below the floor level, and similarly why the deaerators are placed at a height from the boiler feed pump. So those are the two similar concept where delta between the storage tank and the pump suction head, sorry, pump impeller center line, where you calculate the head, net head. So that is where these two concepts are, very, very relatable. And one of our viewer was asking that question, so we thought let us take that example and cover it here. It's a very basic one. Many of you might already know it, but I'm making this video for the beginners who want to understand this thing in detail. Okay. Yeah. So, see, condenser we covered in the previous topic, and condenser is, where steam from the turbine exhaust is coming, and there is a cooling water flow coming in and going out, exchanging heat with the steam, converting that steam into liquid, and that liquid is stored into the hot well, which is just below the condenser, or some kind of storage tank beneath the condenser. And then that water is stored, and there is continuously steam is coming. So there is a continuous inlet of mass or fluid is there. So that mass has to be circulated back into the power cycle. So that is why you need a pump here. Okay, you need a pump here. So this pump here is called as condensate extraction pump, which is CEP. Now we gonna talk about the CEP, why it is kept below the floor level of. Let us assume there is a something of that kind. Condenser is there. Please excuse me for my poor drawing. There is some hot well, something like this, and then you have a pump which is taking suction from this, and there is a discharge. So uh, every pump, every pump has a definite design parameter for which it is designed. So in that design, there are two, three parameters. One is what is the head it will produce. Uh, we call it as a pressure also. We also understand how much is the flow that pump will handle, and what is the kind of fluid it is service, water, or maybe diesel or any other kind of fuel. So those are the things. And if we talk about pressure, then it is also designed as suction pressure and discharge pressure. So that is the kind of basic things which any pump will have. So here is that core thing, that every pump is having a designed suction pressure. So that suction pressure is to be maintained, and suction pressure, it is the same like for condensate extraction pump also. The head or the height, why it is kept at that? Because you need to maintain certain minimum essential head between the center line of the pump or the level. So if it is the water level like this, so then what is the minimum water level allowed in the hot well? After that, that pump will, I mean, the turbine level or low level protection will operate, and this unit may go trip as well. So that is what is the designed as, what is the delta between this lower level of the hot well and the pump suction eye. So that is how it is designed. Now, similarly is the case for deaerator also. So deaerator is kept at height. Uh, there is a deaerator vessel where the deaeration is happening, and then you have a deaerator storage tank also, so smaller than, and then you have a boiler feed pump which is at the floor level. I mean, 0 meter or like that. So that is how the suction requirement of this pump is maintained. So that is the head between the center line of the pump and the storage tank. That is the minimum deaerator level. And now why this all is maintained? So let us understand that is now. So if we see this screen here, let me little bit magnify it. Okay, we can't magnify it. Fine, no issues. So here if you see this diagram, there are certain points mentioned here, okay? A, B, C, D, like that. So here is that point A, here is B, here is C, here is D. Same you can see here in this graph A, B, C, D. So if you see NPSH and vapor pressure are those two horizontal lines marked in the pressure, and how those things are varying at different point of a pump. So it's a simple centrifugal pump here in this case. So if you see, this is where the suction pump center line is there. Pump center line is there. And at this center line, this is what is the NPSH required, which is designed for the pump. It is based on the type of fuel which you are pumping, and it is the suction and discharge head which you have designed for. So now if you see, we know that there is a eye of impeller, and then there is a gradually once this is thrown out of this impeller box, there is a pressure hike. So this point, what it is doing, it is sucking the fluid. So that is why here the pressure is minimum. In all these points, A, B, C, D, the pressure is at minimum here. So see, A, B, C, D. So this is where your pump impeller's eye point. So what this diagram is essentially saying, it is written over here. You can read it I mean, maybe you can read it to multiple times till you get clarity, but I'm trying to explain here. Once it is reaching to the eyes impeller, it is sucking so that your pressure is getting reduced. Then what you have already maintained as the suction, sorry, the center line of pump. So that is where the head pressure is, you have maintained to the head, but again it is going down. So you have to maintain a certain margin here. So whatever is your NPSH required, NPSHR you want to have, definitely you need a certain higher pressure than that, so that once it is reaching your eye of your impeller, then also it should not go below the vapor pressure. Now this, what is that vapor pressure is? This is something new which I spoke about. So vapor pressure is definitely a now property of the fluid. Why I'm saying it is a property of fluid, because the vapor pressure for if you are in a power plant, you can understand water is a different kind of fluid, and if you are pumping high speed diesel, then or kerosene, that and then property of fluids are different, and it has a different vapor pressure. For example, what is the vapor pressure if we just try to imagine? So let's say here you have filled the water or any fluid in that. So there will be certain particle, right, of this whatever fluid you have. So there will be certain particle, small portion of particle in the uh, just below the level. So here also air will be there, and then small particle will be there. So these particle are exerting some pressure in the on the surface. So that is what is called as vapor pressure. So just imagine, what if I increase the temperature of this fluid? So it will start, you know, trying to vaporize very early. So that means these molecules have high energy. So it is having tendency to vaporize more. So that means the resistance which these molecules or smaller particle are offering at lower, comparatively lower temperature is now reduced. So that means now these particle can escape more easily. So vapor pressure is, inversely proportional to temperature. Or similarly, if you can think of that water particles, those are tightly held. I'm just using a very common this thing to tell you. And similarly, if you compare gasoline particle or liquid fuel particle, then those are loosely linked so that it vaporize very easily. So this is also one thing which creates a difference in vapor pressure. That is why I was telling you it is a property of fluid. So the core point here is, if my pressure, suction pressure is less here, so what is the probability that once the fluid reaches at point B, this will go down below the vapor pressure, and then what will happen, this kind of bubble will form. Okay, this kind of bubble will form. Where it will form? Here the bubbles will form. Okay, bubbles are now formed. Then what will happen? Once you are pushing this water with those bubbles in that region where the pressure is high, which is C to D, which is still inside your pump casing. Not sorry, C to D, it is B to C here, this portion, in this portion. So your these bubbles which have created because you have gone down below, it will start burst here in this place because it was created due to low pressure in this place. Now there is no low pressure, the pressure is again going to be that normal or more than that. So these bubbles will collapse, and what will happen then? There will be a these you just imagine there will be a lot of bubbles which are collapsing inside that pump impeller. Then that process will hit, I mean that air will hit your casing impeller, and there will be uh, erosion and pitting marks on your pump parts. So that process is called cavitation. So this is what is people try to avoid, and that is where a net positive suction head is maintained by keeping the suction head high. It may be due to keeping the deaerator high at height, or CEP at lower, so that if your CEP is lower, then your the stationary head which is coming from hot well, that is high. So that is the whole funda behind it. And what I told is cavitation here in the pump, that is one part, and then it also can increase vibration and load on your motor and all that part. Vibration and all that may is the secondary things to happen. So this is why the deaerator is kept at height and CAP is kept at below than the floor level to maintain the height, maintain the head. Hope you have understood. I tried to explain it very in a simple language, introduce the concept of vapor pressure. Many of you might be knowing also. If you want to understand something more, or if I have missed something, you can ask me in the comment section. Thank you very much for being with us. Thank you.